This module is called the Troubleshooting Challenge, and it's really an exercise that we're going to walk through here with building up some scenarios. And here's the rules, or the exercise itself. We're going to present 3 scenarios, which identifies a performance problem with a mobile application that we've just deployed. So there are enough clues provided to consider the cause of the problem, and your role, our role, is to pick one of the choices of where to begin the investigation. So here's the first scenario. There's a mobile government application that takes too long to respond. The front-end servers, the readings show normal RAM and CPU utilization. So the question is, what should you investigate next? How about the back-end database storage? Is that the place to begin? No, there really is no indication that this is the problem. How about the application on the smartphone device? Possibly. But I would say that the first and most important place to start with is looking at the bandwidth utilization. The bandwidth connection may be over a Wi-Fi connection, over the carrier services that are provided, or possibly the availability of bandwidth to the servers that are actually hosting the application. So that's one place to begin to look at, and probably the first one to be looking at in terms of this scenario. In the second scenario, we have an HTML5 mobile government application where we have new users are complaining that they cannot sign up for the account. Existing users complain that they cannot log in. So the application loads fast, but the user-specific information such as the name, the account number, etc. are missing. What should you investigate next? How about the back-end data storage? Yes, I think this is definitely one consideration. The fact that there's a problem with the database or the connection to the database, possibly in the connection path, could be a place where this problem is occurring. The application loaded on a smartphone device, yes, pretty clearly this is another alternative answer, because it could be that the application is trying to set up some sessions for services that it cannot connect to, so possibly this could be part of the answer to where you would begin to investigate. How about the bandwidth connection? Well, in this case, there's no indication that the bandwidth is a problem, so it's not really where you should begin to start doing the investigation. Let's look at the third scenario. We have a very popular HTML5 mobile government application with extremely high user demand. And you did implement load balancing, so that's good. Users are experiencing not consistent problems, but intermittent problems with this application. Sometimes it's slow to respond, sometimes the connections time out. So there's not a lot of consistency here in terms of what is happening. It's not location dependent or time of day dependent. So what should you investigate next? Starting with the back-end data storage? Possibly, but the back-end is not the place to start. The bandwidth, no, there's no indication here that the bandwidth is the place. It is handling peak demands, but what we're starting to see is that the servers are probably the place to begin the investigation with insufficient resources, possibly insufficient memory, possibly insufficient CPU capacity. So this is really the place to begin the investigation. So in summary, what we're looking to convey here is that you need to learn to identify the signs of problems in mobile app performance, which makes a lot of difference in terms of how things are interpreted from the traditional web services or e-government type of services that have been provided in the past, where mobile services will require an expanded understanding of the IT infrastructure, adding mobile in ways that are really different from e-government.